Okay, now we're going to have our first panel, Rula Assad, Soheila Heidari, Shahla Nouri, and Karima Rashkoi. Just come and sit here, maybe that would be one. Well, our speakers are going to talk around 10 minutes, maybe, yeah, around here. And then if you have just a couple of questions you could ask, otherwise at the end of the meeting, we're going to have all the panel speakers here, we can have a debate. And the way I've been talking with our guests, we're going to have a very interesting debate once the speeches are over. Rula, please, if you take.
Yes, but I'm waiting the laptop because I have such.
Oh, you need your laptop. Oh, okay. So
we can start.
Yes, we can start with Soheila.
Okay.
Would you like to speak there or here, wherever you're more comfortable?
Oh, I can go there.
Okay, sure.
Good day to all of you, and thank you to the organizer of this conference who creates an opportunity to talk about challenges facing women's liberation movement in the Middle East and North Africa. Welcome to all of you, and welcome to all of you who have participated in this conference and struggle against discrimination, injustice, and violence. In recent years in Afghanistan, women in Afghanistan are increasingly subject to violence and are the main victims of violence and discrimination. A brief look at the statistic published by Human Rights Commission of Afghanistan, we can see that last year was the worst year in terms of violence against women in Afghanistan. The high of this violence is the crimes committed against women by the patriarchal society of Afghanistan. Indeed, these statistics are only a small part of major crimes committed against women. Any move to change this situation is regarded as a threat against patriarchal, social, and ulama's jargon, or shura ulamas. Therefore, any movement for change is virtually oppressed. I try to give a general picture of difficult women face in their affairs and their legal, political, educational, and religious condition for coming to power of Hamid Karzai after 2001. Legal and educational condition and political participation. At the present, women's situation has changed considerably in this field. If we compare to the situation with the time of Taliban, there are definitely many changes. However, these changes do not include all the women. The major problems are historical and cultural and traditional. To overcome this problem needs considerable time and detailed planning by government. It's self-evident that these problems hinder women's social and political participation. About law and particularly constitution. Political participation of women is recognized by the Constitution. It can be said that there is no legal hindrance in this respect. However, the social and cultural framework creates great hindrance in complying with the law. For instance, in great part of Afghanistan, women need their husband permission to leave the house. If husbands do not agree, women cannot participate in public fear. Other difficulty is security. Women are the most vulnerable section of society. These result in reduction of women's public participation. Women even avoid walking in the street for fear of harassment. The view of male politician. Afghanistan is not only particular just man country, but also tribal country. Afghanistan has not been able to leave tribal culture. Men but view women through tribal eyes, but men always look at women through tribal eyes. Women are considered a threat, therefore women's public participation is not a normal and accepted phenomenon. Women's presence in public is still a taboo in Afghanistan. In fact, an international organization function as a guarantee for women's public presence. Despite these difficult women have been able to improve their situation. A number of women go to school and university and study there. In Taliban stronghold, the situation was worse, and they couldn't go to university and school. We can observe some cooperation between men and women, but these are very ineffective due to dominant male chauvinism. The view of religious figures. The religious community and figures are against women's public presence. Recently, they rejected legislation to stop violence against women. They categorically opposed this legislation. Ulamas Georgia react violently toward to protest against Shia law. There was a personal law about Shia. Ulama Georgia opposes all laws in favor of women's rights and all the international approval law. Their opposition creates a great deal of problem for women activities. The main victims of this situation are vulnerable women. Number of girls flee from their home as a consequence, are sent to prison by their father or maybe their brothers. The general knowledge about religion is a very low level. Therefore, Islamic backwardness, both Shia or Sunni, are worst of its kind in the world. In Afghanistan, it is very difficult to distinguish between traditional and religious teaching. It is different. It is different to understand what is the difference between them. The government's cooperation with women activities. The government's approach toward women is very opportunistic. It does not have clear policies regarding women's rights. Its policies are focused on attracting international political and financial support. The main tool for women is the Constitution. However, the state, due to its widespread cooperation and its ineffectiveness, is unable to use this improve women's situation. There are many projects, but they are haphazard and ineffective. Afghanistan government is very corrupt. You cannot expect much from such a government. Does not limit to women. It includes every other sphere too. the media in Afghanistan and some programs in support of women's rights. The problem with the media is, as the rest of society, ignorance and their world view regarding social, political, and cultural issues. The media has not been able to introduce or discuss citizens' demands of Afghanistan, especially demands of women. Some of the media are privately owned, so therefore their only interest in their own political and their own economic gain. Despite this problem, media have succeeded in bringing about some change regarding the situation of women and the society's view from women. Finally, I must say that my main concern is for after the departure of the international forces in 2014. A political compromise between the government and the international community with a rebel group and extremists such as Taliban, Haqqani Network, and Islamic Party will erode most of women's rights achievement. The change in Afghanistan have not reached a no return point. They may come back to exactly to Taliban time. It is possible to return to the past every time, taking into consideration that this later group do not accept the constitution. Unexpectedly, for women's rights intensifies, women's situation is unclear still. The other concern is peace negotiation. It is possible that in order to reach an agreement, women and citizens-based rights and freedom would be compromised. It must be added that the new President Ashraf Ghani Ahmadzai has given some hope for improved women's situation and has had a good start, and any know how it would be in future, and I hope everything going well for women's situation in Afghanistan. Thank you for your patience.
We said that we will translate the basic points in Persian, but we don't need to because people got the written translation of her speech, so we don't need to do that. No.
Shall I start?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You can take this.
Will not reach. Oh, great.